Years and years ago, I had gone with a friend of mine to a 12-step gathering in the mountains. And while I was up there walking around, I found a cedar fence post, and it wasn't on the fence or anything. And so I picked it up and played with it in the fire for a little bit, and brought it back for some reason. And eventually, it rolled around in my back of my truck for I bet a year. I actually kind of forgot it was back there. So I picked it out and looked at it and decided I wanted to make something out of it. I wanted to make a walking stick. So I decored it. And then obsessive compulsive disorder, I started making it for everybody. I made one for each one of my kids and my ex and my wife at the time. So a friend of mine, after a period of time, asked me if I'd be interested in making them a staff. I work in construction. I'm out in the desert, and I pull off the road, and I'm looking for just in general, any kind of stick, but this guy wants a staff, which is larger, longer. So I go and I see this branch. I see this branch actually in a tree, and I want to go and get it. So I'm climbing up in this tree, and these weird thoughts come into my head all the time, and here are all the stuff that I've done that was totally, completely illegal. And some of it I got caught, some of it I didn't, but you're not supposed to be cutting live mesquite trees, So here I am thinking I'm going to get busted for up here cutting this tree branch. So I cut it down and I bring it back home, and here's why I love mesquite. Another reason why I love mesquite is because it's all about protection. The bark on it is so incredibly rough. If you rub against it, it'll tear your skin off. The branches have huge thorns on them that are just you really do some damage to your body. And it's all, it lives in a rough environment. So I could relate. My rough bark was my sarcasm, I can hurt some people physically if I wanted to, but I generally wasn't. But anyways, there was a calling to me, and every time I'd be around it and stuff, it just called me. So this staff was, the making of this staff was a real story for me. And so it had branches sticking out of it, and I generally just work with a real small knife, and I don't carve anything, I just expose what's there. So as I'm taking the bark off of it, starting at this side and working my way down, it's looking pretty cool and stuff. But then when I noticed that there was some areas that it was completely deteriorated, And so when I got down to about right here, I thought, there's just this little spot here and that little spot there, that's okay. But when I got down to here, I realized this is no good. It's not suitable, And a friend of mine had come over, and and I started telling him this, And what happened was, what I heard is my father telling me that this was broken, that this is no good, or I'll have to cut it off, or I can't use it's not utilizable because it's broken. So this friend of mine comes over, and I start talking to him about the bark off of the tree, and I start to get into these. What I'm perceiving is the story about it being no good. So as I continue to dig more into the thing, and I was actually telling my friend, about it being messed up, and I probably need to let it go, cut it short, or whatever. And then I started to explain to him about, but look at the beauty on the inside of the wood. Look at the pretty patina that's in the inside. And then all of a sudden I realized that when I first got it, it had all the branches on it, all the bark. It looked just like it was okay. And so what I realized as I started utilizing this as a analogy for healing, this is the emotional attachment to the stuff that was no good for me, that no longer served me. And this is where the real beauty is working through and exposing that. And so the stick actually became me, of scraping away and exposing not only the stuff that looked okay, but the stuff that appears to not be okay, but really the beauty on the inside. That's why I never gave the guy the stick. It's mine. And so really that's the story of this walking stick. don't know that it does anything for me. It's just it's a neat analogy, not only to say that this is me, but it's also everybody that I'm talking to. You know, of letting go of what appears to be okay, which is protection, the thorns and the stickers and the bark. But on a deeper level, there's something even more beautiful. Are we willing to let go of the emotional attachment and the identity that we've created that looks okay on the outside, to go inside and expose that and show people our wounds? Never thought about that before. Allow people to see the beauty behind the wound, the beauty behind what looks to be flawed and defective, and to see the struggle and to own that and to say, look at what we're doing. Look at what we're doing as a society. Look at what we're doing, creating a new human tribe that's willing to let go of the things that are not really serving us. This was all dead. All the wood was gone. There was nothing there but dust. You know? Behind that was something very special and very spectacular. And we're all representative of that. We can be representative of that.
Is it strong enough to hold you? Is it strong too?
Yeah, it supports me. Not only in my yeah, it supports me.